We're gonna tackle a couple things today. I was here all the time, honest. Miss Bebe, ready for our class? Yes! Today we are talking about Clip Studio as itself, the program. Because it was requested. Wait, let me close the door real quick. What? Yeah?
I'm cool.
You're cool?
I'm cool. I'm plugging in my phone because phone empty.
Okay. Oh, thank you for your follow. But yeah, because... Huh?
I'll just use this.
Okay.
Do you need it?
No.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Do you need a controller or something?
No.
Okay. You need what I'm doing?
I got my trucking work.
Food? Snacks?
I don't have any snacks, we forgot those.
What scratches?
No! Thank you. But yeah, we are talking about Clip Studio features. Now this is like a kind of open discussion stream, like if you want to share some tips, you always learn new things every day. I don't know all the features, but I was just like gonna show stuff that helped me a lot in like speeding up the process, stuff that is just helpful in general and saves you headaches. Yeah, and just basically stuff that will help your workflow, like, It hasn't left you any flies. What? Any flies? No. 𝗖lip𝗦tudio𝗣aint. Mwah. Naja. What the fuck, was that from the music? For a second I thought my phone was gonna explode. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Clip Studio. It's just a little tour. If you have any questions or I'm unclear, feel free to let me know, and I try to explain it like more thoroughly. But yeah, basically. And the thing you should all write down in your notebook, class, that is very important. Work smart, not hard. It is no shame to use assets. It's like no shame to like use brushes that other artists use too. We don't gatekeep here, okay? If you guys want my brushes, I have them linked on the Discord server if you wanna get them. But yeah. Other than that, I can share anything. Like if you see me using stuff on stream, you can always ask me like, hey, this is a cool asset. Can you maybe share? Like, hell yeah. If I can still find it, I'll share. I was wondering why she's, yeah, why? I mention it because I was thinking like that too. Because of course, when you switch from Paint Tool side to Clip Studio, it is first of all very overwhelming. But second of all, so many more features, and you think like, am I allowed to do that? It's like, yes you are. Yes you are. There's no shame in using resources and assets like 3D objects, 3D models. No shame in that. That's what I'm here for. God sent us the Clip Studio Asset Store himself. Yeah. But first of all, we're not gonna start in Clip Studio. We're gonna start at the Clip Studio page. Because if you download Clip Studio, you get like two windows. One for the program and one from like the asset store and stuff. So you should see this window, but you should also have this window. Ignore names up there, it's just like for old account's sake. Here you get to the program, right? We don't use this because we are not 3D modelers. I am using the Clip Studio Pro version. There's also another one which is Clip Studio X. So EX. And wait, is it X? I don't know. But there's definitely another version, but that's more like for animating. Just basically like getting more features on that, and you can make longer animations, just like on frames. It's not limited and stuff. So yeah. Oh, c'est super. Yeah. And basically, the only thing we're gonna talk about is, first of all, this underneath service. Clip Studio itself also like features a lot of very helpful tutorials. If you have issues with something, like before you Google, you can always check if they have it here and if they load. If they load. Wonderful. I don't know if it's just on my end, but also my CSP is very like slowly. Ah, there it is. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Basically, official tips and tutorials. I'm very sorry I have Clip Studio in German, but I will try to translate it to my best ability. But yeah, basically official tips and tutorials. Then you can like have general stuff with like the software on different devices, like if you use it on tablet or phone. And just like they even have like the fundamentals for digital art. Yippee! So if you want to check that out, they have like help for comics, for just like colors, how you work with layers, and all stuff like that. So Clip Studio is actually very good at providing just help for artists. You even have like character design tips, comics, animation, all that stuff. Very, very good. Can highly recommend just like browsing through there, see if there's something that piques your interest. And yeah. But other than that, the main focus is gonna be this here. The Clip Studio assets. Because when we click on it, it's gonna load a little bit. Because it's slow like me. But here you can see the brushes that get uploaded by other users. You basically have like, oh, what is new? You can look here, you can see the top materials that are for free. For free! You can go there, or you can check out materials that cost, but I don't know how much it costs. I haven't bought the Clip Studio currency. I only got Clippy points from when they did like a login bonus thing. But I wouldn't really recommend buying stuff, except if it's like you're doing art as like, you know, one of your main income, and you use like a lot of environmental stuff and 3D objects. You know, I feel like you can already come very far with just like the free stuff Clip Studio is like giving you. But that's just me. That's just me. Because this is very, very good. Here we get all the assets for. And if you want to search for something, you can click on details. They give like a couple of types what you want to search for, the software, and if it's for free, gold or Clippy, but we want usually free. And if you click on it, it shows you a couple of things, and that's how you can download brushes and stuff. And I will show you in a second how you will drag and drop them into your Clip Studio. But let's say we want, what do we want? Let's look. Is there maybe something really cool? There's stuff like a chibi cherub, like a 3D model. You see this? And sometimes users do like, oh, it's free for 48 hours, so I can highly recommend checking out the asset store every once in a while. Because you can get very good stuff for free a lot of times. They even have like layouts. We're gonna toggle this topic too. Layouts. 3D objects and stuff. That is titty. Twitch don't ban me. It's just we have Walter White. You can have the pee pee poo poo brush. Who wouldn't want that? Of course, not all brushes are just like, you know, top notch. Like everyone can upload in the store. But it's worth checking out. You can download color palettes. You know what? Let's say I wanna have a color palette. color palette. Now you can see people uploading stuff here. And it's usually, we're looking for stuff that looks like this. You can also see in like the thing that is blue written what it is. Like here it says color, just cut. What's it called? Color palettes. Color palettes. Here's like, oh, it's a material and stuff. And when it's brushes, it shows brushes, you know? Like, oh, we have like a little pink color palette. Is there maybe something I can use? There, just popping into my eye. That is a very nice red color palette. And that too. You know what? I kind of want to download this one. This looks very nice. So just for showing how you can download stuff. You can like stuff, you can favorite stuff. You can share the link to the brushes. And if you search for a brush, like if someone is showing you like, oh, here's the link, it mostly opens up in a web browser where you're not logged in. So you can just copy this number here, like the content ID, and pop it into the search bar and you find exactly this brush, material, whatever they send, basically. So we're gonna download this real quick. It shows you, okay, it's downloaded now. Cool, very nice. And the function here with like liking stuff and favoriting stuff comes more in handy if you, for example, you have a new PC and everything is like going completely blank. Why does it require me to log in? Looking here. And you want to find your brushes again, like right, your workspace is completely like zeroed. You don't have to worry about losing the brushes or like trying to search for them again, because every brush you downloaded will be here. Here's downloads and here's the stuff you favorite. So even if you want to check out stuff later and see if it's cheaper or for free or just like, you know, having space, you can check that out, or you can check what you downloaded and then just get it again. So there's nothing ever lost. You can always get your stuff as long as you have an account on Clip Studio. So that's pretty much it. What I use, at least. There's also like tips again and Clip Studio Share, just like a own little share your artworks thing, but I never use that. Clip Studio Ask if you have questions. And how can we help? Basically just support. But I haven't used anything except like the Clip Studio assets here, so I can't give you like any more advice on that. But just a heads up, there's like a lot of good tutorials all over YouTube. If you have any questions, there will be a YouTube video to it, I promise you. Because other people might be able to like explain stuff better than me. Let's be real. Okay, so we are in our little Clip Studio Paint. I just make myself a little bit smaller so we can see like stuff. So this is my layout, how I work with stuff. You can always adjust it to your liking. If you like drag stuff, you can move them around. Like you see those little bars here, you can say, okay, I don't want this here, I drag it out. You can have it as a little separate window, you can move it on the side, you can move it down at the bottom, you can like move it anywhere in between. You can even like, okay, I want it with this one in one little window, so I can switch between those two. You can basically move everything to your heart's content. But I wouldn't worry too much about just like fiddling with it around and making it all perfect, because my workspace changed a lot over the years. Like I think every year I have another layout of my workspace. And if you want to save your workspace, you simply go to Window, Workspace, and you can either register it or register it as material if you want to like upload it in the store. You can search for it and stuff. And that's basically all the workspaces I had before. We are in March 2023 now, and this is all the stuff, all the workspaces I had before. So it changes around. So feel free to like not just stick to one layout, but if you maybe see, oh, this artist used this workspace, I want to check that out. Go on. Like sometimes you just find it that it's more useful or it's just like easier access if you have stuff at different places. But then again, it comes with your style changing, you changing as an artist, your workspace changes. It's just like Mother Nature's flow of things of life. But yeah, where do we start? Where do we start? I don't want to go too much into detail, because I'm not very good at explaining everything. But let's check this one real quick, because it doesn't show my download folders. Yes, there we go. Ignore my taskbar. So on here, let's grab the pointer. Good idea, good idea. Let's grab pointy transform. Flip. Okay, let me get a little sippy. If you have any questions already, feel free to ask. I am not prepared for this lesson, and I want to make it a little short section, so I can save it as a highlight, and then you can just like watch it whenever you want to. Okay, so how do we start? We have our genuine download window here. Depending on what your workspace is, I don't know how they are when you like have the original CSP. Is this going to be a moment with Letty? It is. You have your downloads here, and usually this layer right here, like when you hover over them, you see like a little window and they show you what it is, basically. So here it says, oh, there's material for manga, and here is material for basics and for a monochronic pattern. So if you click on it, another window pops up that basically shows you all the materials. You can click on this window to also get into the Clip Studio Asset Store as like a little shortcut, so you don't have to open your other window. And all the stuff you download from the Asset Store goes into this folder here called Download. Right? Like this one. And you can see here's the color palette I downloaded here. So, you can make your own folders and stuff. There's pre-made folders from Clip Studio that you can use. Like, oh, they have stuff for cross-hatching pen. Don't wonder why there's nothing for me, because I was cleaning out my Clip Studio. I was just cleaning out the stuff that I don't use. So also a lot of base stuff. Basically this, you have color patterns, you have like even backgrounds Clip Studio gives you. You have like little rose patterns and stuff. So you can also search for that if you need like backgrounds and shit. Clip Studio offers a lot of those too. And how you do it, when you see the symbol, you can usually like download it, right? It shows you the thing. And how you download it is you click it into your thing here. If you have a file open, let's open a file. You just drag it in here, and then it asks you like, it wants to download it, and then you click yes, and then it will download the thing. The cloud symbol will disappear, and you will have the background. So basically, the cloud symbol only means it is in Clip Studio's just general cloud savings, but it's not on your asset list. So you just need to simply download it, and then you can use it to your heart's content. And we are gonna talk about folders. So like, for example, I made separate like folders, so I just have an easier time finding stuff that I downloaded. For example, backgrounds, decoration, patterns, just Letty stuff. And when you click on it, you can see, okay, here's only for background, like gradients or for emotes and stuff like that. Or textures, we just have different texture noises that you can lay over your artwork. We have patterns for backgrounds as well. And we have Letty, where I have my pointer. And just like stuff you can save. And there's another way how you can save stuff, but we go to that in a minute. So when you want to make a folder, you just click down here on this symbol. We just like do a material folder. You click on it, right? It says no new file. Let's say I want to make one for just the general brushes I use. So brushes, you can move it up and down depending on where you want it. And then you can just like go to downloads. For example, I downloaded this brush a while ago, and you can just drag and drop it. And then it's in this folder. You don't have to do it. Like all your stuff is in downloads anyway, and it's always gonna be there unless you delete it. Not in way it is, but in your general like asset list. Wait, I'm in the way. I'm in the way. Move, Letty. You gotta get rid of the table for this lesson. Miss Babette, move your ass. Great message because yes. Yeah, it's a feature I only discovered recently as well when I was saving some material. Like, there's always stuff you learn, and for example, I just like someone who likes to organize things. Because I'm a scatterbrain, okay? It's the same with like my folders for drawings. I have folders for commissions, which year they are in, which category and stuff. Like I make folders for everything because I am scatterbrain, and I just like to at least have a somewhat of a direction. Like, okay, I know all the Letty drawings are in my Letty folder. Yippee! Instead of just like having them scattered around in all kinds of folders, like, oh yeah, this is 2023 art. Like, yeah, cool, but where's this one specific drawing I need, right? So basically, I did this. So I can easily, when I want to drag and drop in, for example, my signature. We're just like, okay, I finished my artwork. I can drag and drop it in. Easy. You don't have to open it up, the PNG, you don't have to copy paste, you can just like drag it in. Easy. And we go to that in a second, okay? I'll show you in a second how we do it. So you can do the folders, rearrange them how you want, organize them how you want. It's not a must, it's just a recommendation from moi on how I do it. Basically. Okay. Now to adding stuff. How do we add stuff? It really depends on what material you download, because that will destine where you need to drag it. For example, brush, right? I was like, oh, I wanna use this brush. So I go to my brushes and I was like, oh, okay, I wanna add it here. I drag it, and you can see everywhere where you cannot drag it into is this little circle with with a line crossed, right? That's where you cannot drag it. If you don't know where a material belongs to, you can just like hover over the things, right? The bars, and see if it fits in there anywhere. And when this symbol appears, you can add it. But that will show like when I add the color itself. So I added it. So you just drag and drop it in. You can say, okay, I want this like on the very top or in the middle. You can drag it to the side and have it in their own category. If you want to make like specific tasks or like just bars with like, okay, this is just HB brushes, this is just like line art brushes and stuff. You can also like add it over this, and then it shows you what you downloaded, and search for like brush custom stuff. But I don't really use this function. You can use it, but I prefer just like drag and dropping in from here to there. Basically. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little fast. I'm a little excited, and I want to make everything right. Okay. So basically, you can drag and drop it in. But we don't want this brush, so we click on delete. If you want to copy and paste the brush, like if you say, okay, I like this brush, but I would like 2 different versions, you can copy it here. And when you want to add tool, you can like click on this here as well. But this we will go on in a little bit. Maybe it would be good to show like the different windows as well, so we know what they are. If there's any window you're missing, or you're like, hey, I don't see this on my Clip Studio layout, you can simply go to the top where it says window, and everywhere where the little check mark is, this is the window that's shown on your screen. If it's not, it's hidden. So for example, the subtool details are hidden. They are another window. When I click on it, it pops up. If you want, you can also browse through it and test out things and see what they do. And if you say, okay, some things I don't want, like, I don't know, navigator, I don't need my navigator, you just click on it and it disappears. And if you need it again, just click on it and it's back at the same place where you last dragged it to. If you drag it out of the window like this, and it's basically, wow, and it's basically free roaming, you can also just like say, okay, I use this to have my reference for color picking, but I'm done with color picking, so I don't need this window anymore. So you can click on it, say, okay, goodbye navigator, and it's gone. Right? So always here in this window. But we need the navigator, so we're gonna bring it back. Okay. That goes over how you can see which windows you are missing and which one are showing up. And it's basically, I mean, everything here is on German. We gotta you gotta see for yourself. But basically, this is everything that I have shown that is important for me to have quick access to instead of hiding it. Some stuff, like for example the subtool details, I only need them when I am, for example, doing brushes or making my own materials. But I will show this one too, okay? We're going in little steps. Let's take a little drinking break. Any questions so far? If not, then we can go on to the stuff. So let me just introduce you to some fields I personally use. Where we start with this one here, the navigator. So my top left, it basically shows your canvas, but without zoomed in or zoomed out. So you can see if I zoom in and out, right? It changes my view. For example, if we have a drawing here, we draw a little Eddie. This is a little Eddie. Okay? We can see it here, right? In the size. You can see it in the navigator. Over here, right? It basically shows your whole canvas at 100% view. Not zoomed in, not zoomed out. This is a good window for when you're doing thumbnailing or just like sketching and you want to see how the composition looks like without zooming out. You can just check this window here. So if I zoom in now, you see the red square? It shows you how much, like, your field of view. Like, this is how you are zoomed in. This is your field of sight. Same with when you zoom out. The red square always shows you where your camera is right now, basically. And you can, for example, when I go really close, right? You can still see the red square, and if I draw something, if I draw something, is my pen dying? For example, let's add like a little sphere. You can see it. We can't see the little bat, but we see it on the navigator still. So this is how you will add stuff. You can see how big they are in, like, you know, in the composition, how they're like vibing with each other, harmonizing. So this very good window, I can highly recommend like having this on the side to just check. Because sometimes when you do a lot of zoomed in line art or just like zoomed in sketches, you get kind of lost for how it will look when you just have a natural view on it. So you can just always check navigator. It will be easier to spot like proportion mistakes, or like if something's off, if something is not you know, straight 100%. That window is very good. Okay, let's get rid of the drawings. Move this more to the side as well. Then let's see what else. We have this window, which is like color mixing. No, the babies. Yes, the babies. Why are you bonking, Ace? You stinky. Over this, we have like color mixing. You can also add that like over the window. It's basically just like every color you have selected and brush you are using is gonna be added in here. It's very good if you want to use this for like you're doing emotes and you have like your certain color palette you want to use, but you don't want to have it somewhere on the canvas or just like scattered around. You can always add it here. So for example, I take a color like this red and my G pen. I always use G pen because the brush will be reflected here too. You can delete color palettes you have here as well. You can add little colors if you want. You have like a blending tool, you have a brush, like a little watery brush, and you just have like same sub tool as the one you're using on your canvas, basically. And here you can have like how big it is, right? You can even like remove stuff, like go back and forth. It's just like Control Z on your canvas. And you can just add the color, right? So I want red, I want pink, and let's try the blending tool. You see when you need like an in-between color, you can just click on it and it perfectly blends in the colors. So very handy window, can highly recommend as well. I always use it for when I do emotes and I have my base color palette on the go and I just have it here so I can just easily say, okay, skin color pick, hair color pick, you know? Always very handy, very easy if you want to save certain color palettes. Or just like for trying out colors, like you see with the blending. Ah, thank you for refreshments. Okay. Next, we have the subtool window, which is also related to this bar here, which is, what is it? I don't know, it doesn't show the name since it's like so smudged. The tool. Ah yes, the tools. You can change the size here as well. I always have it on like a, you know, straight up line because I know how, like, where are my tools and stuff. I just got my freshly printed ID card. I want to check in a second. And you basically, tool is always very, very needed. You can have it on the side, you can have it in the middle, like on some window, for example. Like, oh, I have it here on the side, and I'm just like, I just need my little tool window and I have it somewhere, and then I just click on it. And I draw, and I click on that, and I draw. And it doesn't get into the way. Like you can see on the navigator, I can still draw behind it, but it's not blocking my way of, you know, drawing. But I prefer personally to have them on the side, because that's just how it always has been and how I'm just used to it. So the subtool window is always related to your tool windows. Looks so good with Inko. So you can organize this very freely how you want as well. I have like my own little just like order of how things are organized. For example, I have my selection tools, I have my eraser, I have my color picker, my signatures, just shapes and forms, and then we go from sketch brushes, line art brushes, shading brushes, airbrush, text tool, my just like assets like sparkles and effects, my background brushes, my gradients, bucket, my ruler, and these are brushes I don't use, but I still have them here because they're default. So we're gonna go a little bit over some of them for a little introduction, but yeah, everything with its time. So let me check something real quick. Okay. So basically, you can organize this here very freely. Same with this bar on top. I am sure this bar is very empty for you, but I like to just have my essential brushes here as well. So for example, I have here my sketch, my draft, and then it just like automatically jumps to the brush you dragged on here. So if we say, for example, if we say, okay, I want this brush here. I want this brush on top here of my just Clip Studio. I can drag and drop it over here, and then it's added as tool. And you don't need to search it in a list. You can do it the same with this. Oh wait, you cannot actually. You cannot. I think for that you need to like have it. Oh no, you can. I'm stupid. You can also drag it in here like manually. But I think you need to hold Control for this. But yeah, so basically we have it up here as well. If you want to move stuff, you hold Control, and you can either move it like in between stuff. You can move it like all to the front, and there's like little fields you can create. I mean, you can see it's like in a box. Now it's not. Now it's in the box back again. You can like kind of do little separations. And if you don't want this anymore, you can just like delete it. Same with colors. If you're like, okay, I have this color and I use this color a lot. For example, for sketching, you just right click, say, okay, I want to add this color I am working with right now, and it's added. And if you want to make groups, you can do the same as well by just simply pressing Control and drag it over the other color. And then you have both of them in there. You can get it out of it as well. It's like do little groups. Like for example, I have all my skin tones in here, my eye colors, my hair, the clothing shades. Like all, you can make all little folders to your heart's content, or you just like this is my sketching color and stuff. Everything to your heart's content. So it's easier to just like, instead of always going like, oh, I don't remember like fucking color or anything, you can always add it on top of here in this bar. Just need to right click it. Or just drag the tool you want into this bar. Okay. You can do the same with tools, by the way. If you say, okay, I want 2 tools in here, you can also just like Control and drag it in there. So we have our little groups. Wonderful. But how do we organize stuff? Like I said, you can like drag and drop it on the top. You can drag it like in their own thing. You can click on the first tab here, like right click, and it says settings for subtool group. And there you can also name it, so it's easier to like remember, okay, this is where the brush is for shading fur, this is where the brush is for shading skin, you know, all that good stuff. So after we moved on and we made like our settings, I can show you how I organized my brushes if you want. If you want like a little guideline or you want to do it yourself. For example, I have all my sketch brushes here. I have my marker and my G pen, like basically for line art. I have all my shading brushes, just normal shading for skin, for eyes, fur brushes, and for clothing. I have only my text tools and brushes that I use for fonts. I have my effect brushes for clothes, items, patterns, like for example stockings, or just genuine. Like there's a lot of assets on the store. Feel free to just browse through some stuff and see, oh, I like this asset, or I like this one. And you can save it. Like the possibilities are endless, right? And basically you can have like your own little groups everywhere. And if you want to change the color like I did, or you downloaded the brush but you don't like the icon, for example, you can always say, okay, I like draft base, but I wanted to show a color, a vibrant color, so I can easily spot it in my toolbar, so I don't have to search for it, because I know it can be kind of cluttered and hard to see. So some people use colors to have like an easier time finding their tools, right? It's more eye-catching. Like, okay, I know yellow, orange is my airbrush, so I can easily like click on it without like squinting my eyes and decipher the tools. If you want to change that, you just simply click here on settings for subtool, and here you can name your tool. It shows you what it is, it shows you the symbol, but if you don't want that, you can also set your own kind of symbol. Like if you use it for something else, like for example, you use it for decoration, like here's a symbol for it, or you have grass brushes, then you can use this symbol. Basically, nothing that is essential or like very important, but it's very nice, you know, it's like, how do you say? Just quality features, quality life features. You know, it's like it makes stuff a little easier, and it can also help you like organize your stuff more cleanly and to your aesthetic, if you'd like. And if you want to change the background of your tool, you can simply click here, and then you have your color wheel here again. And you can just simply say, okay, I have a draft brush, so I make it gray. Yippee! And now you have the color. And it's just that easy. No, Mia! No points! I will raise the points. Mia just here for the German. I'm sad. I thought you were here to learn about art. Not in school. Bah. I don't understand, Jimmy. Don't worry, I talk about farts just like for 5 minutes. It won't be school related. Do you guys also get that feeling when it's been a while since you last streamed, and so like talking is not what you're used to, and like you get easily like out of breath and just like I don't know, it sounds kind of stupid, but it's like, oh, I gotta drink. I can feel my throat like being all dry from talking. I am not used to socialize. What is this? But yes, another cool thing I saw that I wanted to try out more is you can have like your default icons that Clip Studio is giving you, but you can also say I want, yeah, my own kind of symbol. I don't know what resolution it specifically asks for. I need to Google that still. But for example, if I say, okay, I want this little bat to show up, then you can just add the bat. So the size 112, just like basically emote size, works really well. So if you want to add your own little symbols, you can do that too. And you can just easily like get rid of it. Very, very cool. Very nice, spicy. Wow, wow, wow. So basically, that's all to the tools, to its functions, how you can organize them, how you can change their appearance, to your heart's content. After that, we have another window that is related to the tools, which is the tool abilities. Basically, this window here. I always have it underneath my main tool, subtool layers, so I can easily adjust things. I usually don't fiddle around with it too much, because the brushes I just use by their default settings, or how I downloaded them. The only thing I would change it is, for example, you can change like the hardness of like airbrush or your eraser. You can change how much opacity it has. Like if you don't want it to erase everything at once, you can say, oh, I only want you to like hover over it. For example, we take the eraser, right? We take eraser, we take the hard one. You can see what kind of form it shall have. Like, should it be very crisp, very like showing all the pixels? Shall it be very smooth and like round but still have distinct edges? Should it be very soft rounded, or should it have like kind of an airbrushy kind of feel to it? I only use this one for my hard brush. I have a soft one too, which is basically this one. If you want, I can save those brushes as well. I only have it on one, and it's like you can see on the preview like what the brush will look like. Like, okay, it has like very soft edges and stuff. So if we look at the brush, for example, we're drawing 2 lines as test, both with the G marker. Let's say like this, okay? We have our brushes. You have your hard eraser. Oh, I can move to the side now, I remember. So you go to your eraser. I can show you what kind of difference it makes when you change the setting. Like if you ever wanna check that out, or like, you know, try out stuff. Let's say, okay, I have it on, you know, weak, like anti-aliasing, just basically just like how soft the ending is gonna be. So for example, we can do little bites. This will be the weak one. This will be secondly weak. You can see like there's a slight little gradient to it. And on this one, like when we zoom in, you can see, but if you pay very close attention, like you can see, okay, we have a couple more pixels here before it, like, you know, goes back to black. Same here, it's like a little shorter on here, it's directly, like a very clean cut. But we don't want that cheddar cheese. We want to properly erase stuff. So we go back to our pencil. We can say, okay, I want the full strength. Give me all of it. it will very cleanly erase all of it. But you can also say, okay, I want you to go a little soft, a little softer. Then you see what happens? It almost makes like a kind of 3D-ish shape or like effect on it. And the more you go over it, the more it will erase. It's very good for when you want to erase shading lines, like cell shading, but you don't want to make it end too hard. So you just slightly brush alongside it, you know? Make a smoother transition instead of a hard one. Haha, hard. But yeah, I would recommend having 2 brushes. So one for just like completely clean erasing, so you're sure it's gone. And if you want to go for more softer, I would recommend a second one where it's really like, you know, especially for soft erasing. But for those brushes, another thing is very important, which is like the handling of the pen. I'm not gonna toggle it too much because that will be a lesson in itself. But basically, some brushes need to be used in a specific way. For example, I have a marker brush. I can put on full pressure the whole time on my tablet and draw a line. I can do that, yes. But it will not be very good for the tablet screen because over time, if you press too strongly on it, it can damage the display. So we want to be gentle. And you can see if I just adjust my strength on how I use my hand, I can also determine how much opacity and thickness to the line comes. Hold gentle like hamburger. You don't wanna give it a big old squeeze so all the tomatoes are falling out and juices overflowing over your hands. That's fucking disgusting. You wanna hold it gentle. You know? And if you want to practice it, that's also a great exercise. Like if you're already doing like your line exercises, like these, right? You can also just do that. But instead, try and do different, you know, different weights. Like, okay, a little thicker, a little thinner, a little thinner. I go into thick again. It's a great exercise to, you know, practice how you adjust weight. It will help you a lot, like with different line art styles or just shading in general. So I would highly recommend that too. Like if you want to do like little exercises, like 2 minutes a day, that's already enough, or 5 minutes. Just like trying out to do gentle brush strokes. Okay. Other than that, we have a couple more windows that I don't really use though. We have a protocol, so basically all the colors you used in like a order, basically like a history log, but just for the colors you picked. We have what's that? I can't read it. Oh, basically just RGB. If you wanna, you see how it moves? If you wanna change colors over this one, you can do that as well. But I don't really use it, so. Back into the pit you go. We have, it's about to go German. We have in between colors. So if you pick a color, something, like here, you can just like pick a color and hover over it and it gives you like, you know, the bucket option. If you want to know a color in between, you can pick it like this, but I don't really use that one either. We're just going over some tools, so I at least showed you all of them, right? We have what is that title? Somewhat related color. Where you also can see like some kind of gradient, but I don't know what purpose this one has. I don't really use it. Into the shame pit. Okay. Now we're moving on to the right side, because we basically have everything colored here on this side. Maybe to the navigator, one more thing. You can do different things on the navigator as well, like if you want to rotate your canvas. Let's zoom out a bit. If you want to rotate your canvas, you can do that. If you want to zoom in and out, you can also do that over the navigator. You can say, okay, 100%. Okay, reset like the rotation. And that's how you can quickly like adjust things, right? It's also at the bottom here. So here, if you wanna do that. But I feel like it's better to have them on the navigator because it's just like they're bigger, they're easier for access. You can say, okay, adjust it to navigator, which is basically go to default position or like original position. You can say adjust it to like the screen. Basically. You can flip it horizontal and vertical over this, so you don't have to do it over, you know, edit, transform. You can easily flip it this way. But yeah. That's it for the left side of Letty overlay. Now we're gonna move on to the right side. So I'm gonna move over here to you guys. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Or can we move on? No sniffing. I'm stinky. Oh. I need to check something. Ah. I just saw Brie posting something and I was like, is it a model? Is it a model? I've been tagged on something cute. I like cute. Let me check. Aw, thank you, Mia. Thank you. Oh, that's really sweet. I'm sorry everything is so scuffed and I'm like, I'm so nervous. I babble a lot when I'm nervous and like, I get so shy. I just like, I hope I can at least explain it somewhat understandable. Not him, he's stinky? What? Where? Oh! Sorry. Oh my god, look at him! Look at us! Look at us! Oh my god, this is so cute! We're definitely gonna draw left birthday present. Oh my god, look at us! Bless. Bless Lavender Bun. Holy crap. I cry. It's very fucking cute. Also, Giri, your portrait looks very, very nice. I'm super proud of you. Mwah. Okay, since there are no questions, I guess we can move on. So, over to this window. I have my brushes, my brush sizes here on the side. You can also just like drag and drop it. You can have it like a little bit more next to each other if you want. I actually wanted to try out this layout more, but in the future. I also like if left and right is like not too big into my face. I like it when they're just on the side, like just the right amount. So I have enough space for my canvas and it doesn't feel too cramped, because if it's too cramped, I get what's the word for it? Not paranoid. Help me out, class. I forgot. It's what is it? when you're scared of cramped spaces. I forgot. I'm stupid. Anyway. Of course, it's to everyone's heart's content. If you want, I also did Google just Clip Studio layouts. Just simply added on like the Google bar, like Clip Studio layouts. It's interesting to see how people sometimes organize their workspace. Like they have all the tools on the left or on the right, and like only on one space, just the canvas. And there's people like me who have it in the middle, and stuff divided on left and right. So it's really easy to see how people organize their stuff if you want to look for like inspiration, or maybe you know, see how other people do it. I can recommend that as well. We also did like a little share in the Discord server of our CSP workspace. But yeah, let's move on. We have our beloved color wheel. Mwah, I love it. We have our first and second main colors. You can also switch between them with a certain toggle. Yes, you can switch between them, at least for me, when I press X on the keyboard. Now, I don't know how it is, because Giri told me that on some keyboards, depending on what region they are or like where they're from, this might be a different case, or like something about the either computer or keyboard. I don't know. I'm not good at technology, but on that it would probably be best to just Google shortcuts, like key shortcuts for Clip Studio Paint. There's usually like a couple lists, especially if you're looking for something specific. So when I press X, I can switch the colors, and when I press C, I switch to the transparent one. Very cool, very nice, we'll love to see. Oh, and if you press wait, I need to check if I remember correctly. Wait, what did I... I don't remember. There was like a shortcut for how you can adjust the brush size with just like the circle tool, like in Photoshop, but I forgot. I need to look that up again. Color wheel. You can either have like the basic square one, or you can switch to a triangle. I don't know why you would do that. I personally don't like the triangle, so I always use the square, because it's just more comfortable for me. So you have your color square, I have my color fields, and here we can also demonstrate, if we go back to our downloads, if we have specific stuff like the color palettes, you can just drag them in here and they will appear as a new thing. You can see I have like skin cubes, I have the vintage blondie palette that I use for like a lot of gold shading. I have whatever that is, Sakura. I have silver color tones, lilac color. Like you can search for a lot of things for like color palettes as well, so you don't have to mix and match colors yourself. For example, if you just want silver or gold palettes, color palettes, I can definitely recommend checking out the asset store, because it's gonna save you so much time. Just on like, you know, moving around like, oh, does this look like color? Does this look like color? You know, you save yourself a lot of time. And then we have the subview, I think it's called, which is basically, you can also make it show over this. Subview, subview. Wait, what was it called again? Ansicht. Yeah, it's here. It's right underneath the navigator. I still have my hero ref in here. Don't mind me. You can also zoom in and out. You can add references over this little folder here, which is import. You can also match this one to the navigator size. You can rotate it. You can flip it. You can like have multiple. Like here's Megu, here's Hero. If you don't need a reference anymore, you can be like, oh, okay, goodbye Megu. And you can open canvas on screen. Basically, which opens it in another window if you need that. And you can also do, oh, fuck. Hold on. You can also do like the, yeah, over these things, you can rotate it. And this window is very good if you want to use it for like just, you know, you have your drawing, you draw, and then you just have your window on the side. You don't need to copy paste it on your canvas. You can just have it open here. And if you need colors, you can just quickly click into it, and then it automatically jumps to the color you are selecting. You don't need to press anything, you just like hover over it. But yeah, we're going back to in here. I only have it here just for like keeping it safe, but when I draw and I have a reference, I usually just drag it out, make it zoom in a bit more, like make it bigger, and then just have that alongside drawing. And when I'm finished and I have the sketch, I like, okay, back you go to your corner, and then I switch back to my color wheel. And last but not least, we have our layers, where we have more. There's like a layer, how would you say, layer abilities as well, which is just like, I don't really use it much except for like if I do outlines, for example. When I drag in my logo, I drag it in, and I say, okay, it's very cool, but it's also on like a background and you can hardly read the font. You can simply just click onto this here, the effect. Let's close this real quick. You can click here on the effect, and then you can, for example, say, okay, this is like outlining. I want this in black. So you have your outlines. You can say, oh, I want it a little bit thicker or thinner, or I want it to be in like a gradient. You can adjust that as well. Like there's a lot of things you can do with it. I just say like, go for it, try out a lot of stuff. Hell yeah. You can do that. You can do raster. You can have this. You can do. And here's like one that you can use. For example, I'll show you something real quick. Let's grab this one. You do your sketch in your color. So basically I mostly use this one, but if you are drawing and you're like, okay, I drew this sketch in like a more blackish color, but I also used it for line art. Instead of coloring the sketch, you can also click on this little button, which makes it, you know, you can put it in every color you want. And if you don't want it anymore, you can just click on it again and then it's back to black, basically. Cool little thing. But yeah, not so much use except for the outline effect. And then we go to our layers. Our most important thing. As you can see, I don't know if the default option in Clip Studio is like showing big pictures, because I saw this layout on Heroes, and Megu's workspace, and this was honestly the first time I saw it. Like, huh? I didn't even know it was possible to like display them that way. But I think the way it works is just you click on here, I think. Oh no, never mind, I'm stupid. How do you actually do that? Where it shows. I don't have that. Is that like a setting? Because I don't think I ever discovered that. Have what? You know how about your layers? You don't have them in a list like me. You have them as very big pictures, right? So my like it's very small here on my end, but for you it's shown very like big and spacious. I don't know how you did that, because I don't think I ever saw that before. The 3 little lines in the left corner. Ah, wait. Ah, you can say how big it is. There we go. See, I learned something too. So basically, you can say how big it shall be. I think this is the one you and Hero are using. Yes, yes. And then you have it like on the side here. Yeah, you can do that too, of course. I just personally prefer having it just small, so I have more of like a better view of how many layers I have and where's what, especially if you make folders. Let's put it on small. This is usually the size I work with. Schmal. I'm old and my eyes are bad. That's okay, Megu, that's okay. I'm still gonna drag this out real quick so I can point at stuff more easier. Because in the meantime, we can also explain a little bit how I use the layer functions. So, dear class, I will show you the knowledge I have. If you have like more ways on like how to use layers, feel free to share. Because I don't really work with the masking tool or yeah, it's basically the masking tool or vector layers. I don't really use them. I can only show you the way of the Letty. But yeah, feel free to share your experience and how you do it if you want, because it's always interesting seeing other people's workflow. So, you have your layers here. What you can do, you have your single layer. If you double tap on it, you can name it. You can make a new one here. Here are the vector layers, but we don't use those. It's just like basically for having lines, but your lines get slightly adjusted. Like if you see, if I draw a line, it slightly gets edited. And it's like, you can't use the lasso tool if you use vector lines. Which is why I don't really like this one as well, because I like the lasso eraser. It's just basically for when you resize things, the line art won't get crunchy, or the quality won't get reduced. But I don't really have this issue very often, so that's why I don't just refer to vector layers. So you can add your layers. You can also have folders if you click on the little folder. If you want stuff in there, you can just drag it in. You can close the folder, you can move the folder, you can name the folder. You can also, both for layers and folders, you can click on this little palette and you can mark it with a color. For example, okay, this is my outline folder. I give it a color black. That's what you can do. And if you do things with the folder, it will affect everything that is inside the folder. Hello again. Hi. So for example, if I use this function, like use this as a sketch or draft layer, it will affect the whole folder. It will also show on the layers, but just slightly more desaturated. Or you can just say, oh, I want only one thing in this folder to be seen as draft. You can also click on a single one. It will be marked with the pencil, and it will have like the little thing here. You can also mark it as like a reference layer with the little lighthouse, as I like to say. You can have this one as like a cutting mask. Yeah, and it gets like a little red.
Nice car.
It gets like a little red mark. And you can also lock it. So if you don't want things to be edited in that folder or to be moved around or anything else, basically this one. But we're gonna show in practice, okay? We're gonna share some things in practice. So for example, we're just gonna drag, just gonna make a circle. Okay? There's our circle. We can name it circle. Easy, right? Wait, I'm gonna move the window a little bit. Okay. We have our circle. Now, there's a lot of things we can do with the circle. You can change the opacity here. So how see-through the circle is. You can say it's gonna be a sketch layer. So that means, you know, if you want to select something, let's say you have 2 circles, okay? You have 2 circles. It's just showing like the ability of it. If you, for example, say, what do you say? I want the background. I want to select the background, but I don't want the pink circle to be noticed by it, right? Sure, you can do this one. But what comes in really handy, especially if you have sketch layers or even folders, you know, where you have sketches, like the sketch part over multiple layers, and you just wanna have it not be seen by Clip Studio, you click on this one, on the little pencil icon, which tells CSP basically, hey, this layer right here, it is just a sketch. Please don't recognize it if I select anything or if I draw over it, right? It's as if this circle is just facade. As if it's not even there. So even if it's at full opacity, I can just, you know, click in here and it will not be recognized. It will only recognize the black circle because it's not marked as a draft layer. So I can highly recommend, if you do sketches, I highly recommend using this icon. It will save you a lot of just like, you know, hiding sketch layers and stuff. Like, it's easier to just like have this. You can still look at your sketch, but it will not be recognized. Maybe I can show later on a little sample. Next function. Let's say you have your form. Whatever it is. It's a head, it's, I don't know, it's any kind of form. And you're like, okay, I like this form, but you know what? I wanna color it, but without like erasing or changing the base color of it. That is very much possible. You can make a new layer, but as you can see, I can still draw over the circle. Now, if we don't want that, you can simply press, hey, just use that as like a mask to the layer below. This only applies to the layer below. So if it's out, like if it's outside the folder, or if it's like, if something else is in between, it will not recognize the circle. It has to be underneath it while you edit it. And I can show you what I mean by when you edit it. So we just mark it as a mask. It has a little red marking. And now you can see I can move my cursor outside, but it will only draw on the space I have marked as like, you know, what is below. You can still like join your things here and stuff. But if you remove this here, now you can see where I have painted over it. And if you click on it, it just automatically wraps itself around the thing you drew. Okay? Okay. Just always remember that when you use this function, if you disable it, it's gonna show where you painted over it. If you don't want it to paint over it, what you can do is you can just have a new layer. Use your wand. I like the wand. Click on the circle and fill it with the bucket tool. Now, you can do this method, but what you will see is a little thin outline where you can still see the black circle. Now you can do that as an addition. Like if you say, okay, shit, but now I have the black lines. No problem. You click on the thing again. And you just, you know, simply go around it. You don't have to like go all squishy squashy all over the screen. You can just simply go around it. Yes, if you disable it, you will see it again. But as like a little tip, if you select something and you want to like fix the smudges or like the selection that hasn't been, you know, put into it, you can just like use this layer and draw over it, and then it's fixed. No black line, you know? You brought me dinner? Yeah. What's for dinner? Now, shall we go a little bit over the selections? I try to like have it somewhat organized so it's not too complicated. If I mix and match a little bit too much, please tell me. Potato bacon on that? Heck yeah. Okay. Let me move to the side again real quick. Just it's easier for like show. Yeah. Okay. So, moving on to, okay, I want to select a circle. What tools can I use to select it? There's obviously the magic wand. You can even say down here how much of the, how do you say, how much of the space, I think, how much space it's gonna like close. I think best to showcase it would be like, for example, really quickly, we have a hair strand, right? But let's say you didn't close your line art all the way, right? You still have like a little entrance left, and usually the magic wand recognizes that and says like, hey, I can't select this part because there's an opening. It's leaking out, right? Just kind of see it as if there's water inside. There's water inside, and if you use the magic wand, it will recognize there's an opening and it will overflow, and then it just takes over the whole canvas, right? So the wand usually tells you, hey, please close that one. So the water, I can keep it inside, right? But if we have a little hole like this, what you can do is say, okay, close the little hole. You can adjust it here. And now you can see if I put it to the max, it recognizes like, hey, there's a hole, but I can see, you know, I can see where the line is going. I can see you only want to select the inner thing. It will still leak a little bit through, because yes, the magic wand is not 100% accurate, but you can always adjust things by just simply like removing this little bit of just over splurge, right? You can say like, oh, here, like, okay, I have selected it now and it's over splurging. Okay, I just take the eraser and just get rid of that little bit. That's something you can always do. But at least, you know, how some people are like, oh, I did my line art, but it's doing the thing where it's really annoying that it's like, it recognizes everything. I can't paint in it, right? Because now if you put it on the very minimum, it will see the hole and it will recognize it as, okay, it's open, so you want me to paint the outside as well. But you're like, no, I only want you to paint the inside. And this little bar is basically, depending on how big like your little in-between cuts are, like the lines that are not connected, you can fix that by just like adjusting this bar here. Right? You don't need to go all Sherlock and zoom into your artwork and check if every pixel is connected, right? It happens a lot with very thin line art. But you can just simply adjust the magic wand here and it will recognize that. Oh yeah, and refer to all layers. For example, we have 3 magic circles. Three magic wands. We have selection for referent layers, refer to all layers, which is basically everything in all files and layers. And we have refer to editing layer only. In English, that bar is called close gap. Thank you so much, Kiri. I was looking for the word gap. I could only think of like a hole. So what do these things do? It's, if you wanna end the selection, you just press Ctrl D as a shortcut, or when you have things selected, you can just like a little toolbar pops up, and you can just say, okay, close like the selection. Thank you, Bibi. Mwah. So what do we do? Selection for referent layers is basically like it doesn't do anything except on the layer where it sees something, right? So it's selected, it uses this as a reference, but it's gonna be, yeah. It's a little, you have to check on the layer, and if you say refer to all layers, it's just like simply if you have multiple shapes, for example. We make a couple more, okay? We make 3 layers. There's like circle, and there's like a triangle. If you say select all layers or refer to all layers, it will automatically recognizes all layers in all folders. If you say selection for referent layers, it will only select the thing that you have on the layer. For example, this shape here. It only recognizes this one, but not the circle and the triangle. And you have refer to editing layer only, which is like you can say here with this little lighthouse. It's like, make this my reference. It shows in like a little symbol here. And then it just like, wait. Why does it not? Hold on. Did I mix it up? Oh, I think I mixed it up. Wait, which one was this one again? What did I do for this one? Ah, wait, I mixed up. Okay, maybe someone can help out here, because I don't see the difference between those two right now. Even without like having the function. Maybe it's like the... Maybe it has to do with the mask. That could be. But the last one was either... Yeah, so I just say I use refer to all layers anyway, like all the time. So, you can see if you prefer like it's selecting the one you are working on right now or just like all layers. It's up to you. Okay, let's get rid of these. Let's get back our circle. Let me try something real quick. If this is how I remember. Okay, this is definitely not. What was the lighthouse again? Just a shruggy boy. What you can also do if you want to change the colors, you can press this little icon here, which is like transparent, lock transparent pixel. It shows you like this little symbol here. I always do that after doing like the line work or setting my base colors. When I'm done, I just select it and then I can use the lasso tool, go around, and it just selects the area or the lines I did, right? It's very good for coloring in line art that you already finished, but want to give it like different. Oh, that's a Fong. Is the consciously true? We are very safe for class here. Basically changing the color without having to redraw it again or do like a different layer and stuff. You can just like lock it, like, okay, this is finished. Don't draw over it. I only wanna edit this color or this layer. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for the functions I use. There's there's these symbols too, which is basically transfer it. Like, how do I show this? For example, if I have a circle, right? Whoopsie. If I have a circle. If I'm like, oh, okay, I want to add something like the circle here, but I want it to move onto this layer. You can either say, okay, completely merge with the one below, but it will only apply to the one below, or you can say, okay, only move what is on that layer, like the drawing, the lines. Only move that on the bottom layer, but keep the layer just like in its state, right? So if I click this, only the circle will move down, and then I have a free layer again. I rarely use this one. I usually just merge them together. But you know, for different techniques, I'm sure it's gonna come in handy. And yeah, that's basically... Yeah! KR, it's been so long. How you been? That's basically how you do your layers. This one is also like, when you do canvas, it sets like your base color as like a little, you know, little paper thing that you can't edit. But if you want to change that, you can simply just like add a layer, merge it, and then it becomes a normal one, and you can delete it. Magic! If you save something, by the way, if you save something, and you want it to be PNG, make sure that the background always looks like this. So the only thing that is left is like your actual drawing. Hey, look, you back. Hello! Happy Hanukkah, happy weekend. my god, it's already 8, but it's still like very bright outside. And then there's like two more tools, which is cells, but that's basically for animation and auto action. But I rarely use both of them, so I can't much explain on them. If you want to look it up, feel free to. Now we can move to a couple examples, I think. Oh yeah. Wait, should I also share like brushes? Like for example, I use a lot of the lasso tools for selection, erasing, and filling. So I have one for selection. I have one where I can fill in the colors. I have one where I can erase it with the lasso. But that's also tools that you can easily like look up in the Clip Studio Asset Store. You just look for lasso fill and for just lasso erase. But if you want, I can also export them and then post them on the server. Oh yeah, and if you wanna move something, like let's say you have something written, right? Like, hello, I am text. And you add another thing, but you want them to be on the same layer, you can also click like close to it and say like, hello, I am subtext. And then you have them like separately. And you can also edit them separately. Like you say, oh, I want this to be like a different font instead of this one. Or you only want to move one of them. You can click on this cube here, operation. And then you can only move this subtext. It's very handy for graphic design. I'm sure it's good to know. But for drawing, not so much needed. More for graphic design. And if you want to add text. I feel that I am a subtext too. Me too. We are proud subtexters though. Oh yeah, and if you merge a layer with it, it will erase the text function. And you can basically just like edit it however you want. So, as for like, yeah, keyboard shortcuts, I would more recommend looking up keyboard shortcuts over Google, depending on what keyboard you have. Did I forget something? We got this, we got this, we got... Oh, one thing. But I'm gonna show this on an art piece. So we keep this out for a second, or still out. One thing, if you wanna look for fonts, if you look at text and you look at tool, if you go to text and you look at the tool settings, you can see the font I picked. If you want to add fonts, you can just click on it and either click on add you know, data or like things. You can easily download fonts on a website which is called like Google Fonts. You can like scroll through them, you can preview how they look with different like, you know, sentences and stuff. And then you can just drag and drop in the thing. And you can, for example, make folders as well for like, oh, okay, I only want like fonts that I use for logos, or only fonts that I use for comics. And then you can just like select what you want and what you don't want, and then you can like, you know, switch in here. And you can also like, you know, display them. Hello, I am subtext. Hello, I am subtext. Because I think they're by default in this style, but you can click on the little A and then it shows you how it looks like. As a little tip. Oh, my throat is getting all dry. Any questions to any other of like the sub windows or just tools? Because then I would move on to like just showcasing the layer thing here on like a drawing and how I do like my layers for showcase. But yeah, any questions? Any questions? Wait, we're not done yet. We're not done. Kitsu! Ming dong. I'm trying my best. Sorry, I'm high. Can you repeat that? Bruh. Am I supposed to start from the beginning? What in the beginning? Yeah, just if you have questions to the program or like the tools we talked about yet. What is this music? Sims, are you okay? Let's see. What is happening? Sims 2. Not the yodeling. We're listening to Sims 2 soundtrack. Let's go. Hi Kitsu, how you doing? We're learning Club Studio. I just solid info, lady, thanks. Okay. I hope it's helpful and somewhat explained in a way that makes sense. I'm better at like explaining while showing instead of these so-called words. Okay. So, oh yeah, we haven't even checked the thing. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. We're not even close. One quick little thing. I just go over the stuff I use, okay? Let's say you have your ball or something. Or you want to draw the background. A good thing to do for backgrounds is like putting them in like a motion blur for like just the effect and static. You can do that if you click on filter. You can like adjust it, you can render it, you can make it more sharp looking, you can make it look all woozy woobity, and there it is. Motion blur. And then you can say how much you want it to blur, like how strong and in which direction. Pretty cool! That's what I did for Megu's birthday piece, which I can show you right now, I think, or later. Oh yeah, here's like a lot of what you see. You can look like the lineal and stuff. Lineal? Ruler! You can have like the rasters like available. You can have the ruler here. Basically, right? Yes. Filter on this. I don't use that one because you practically much do that already. New layer and stuff, but you already do that over this little window, right? Like this window. Animation, we don't use animation. Edit, copy paste stuff, like cutting it out. You can like basically everything that is like on the navigator or that you just do with like keyboard shortcuts. And data for like, what's it called, data? What is it called in English here? The first tab. You can say new canvas, open, what you worked on recently, you can save it. For saving, stuff, you can save it as a Clip Studio file, or like all these things. I know some artists save their pictures in JPEG. I don't know if I'm up to date, but when I was reading into it, I learned that PNG had a better resolution than JPEG. I might be wrong. Maybe it's like things change, you know, technology advances every day. But back when I started like 4 years ago, 5 years ago with digital art, it was like, no, use PNG. Yeah, JPEG has terrible compression. Especially you need to save PNG if you want the background to be transparent. So like for emotes and stuff. And if you have files like model files for Live2D, you save it in a Photoshop document, basically. Plus it has transparent. So PNG, always good. Thumbs up, Letty approved. Or you can also like export Webtoon and export your animation and stuff. This here, if you want to record speed paints, but without OBS, you can just click the time refer. But make sure to press it before you start the drawing. And if you're done, you can, this one changes into like stop, like time refer, and then you can like export it. You can also import stuff like pictures, movies, like stuff like that, but we don't really need that. Printing options, lots and lots of cool things. Connect with smartphone. You have your settings for your pencil right here. And basically, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I wanted to show something, but I forgot. I remember I wanted to show something. Oh yeah! Okay, as a little tip, for anyone who wondered how I did these. I don't know to whomst I already showed it to, but I know I got a couple questions that ask like, how do you get your signature as like a material that you can just like drag and drop in there, or just like stuff like, oh, my tattoo on my chest, or like crosses, or my pencils. I can show you this one very easily. So basically, what you do, it doesn't matter how many layers are already on here or like what is on the canvas. The only thing important is that the thing you want to register as a material is on one layer and one layer only. Make sure it is not merged with the background. It's transparent background, like it's only, for example, we're making a heart, right? Making a heart real quick. Symmetrical ruler, my beloved. Okay. Acceptable heart. We can work with this. You can also like, I'm sorry, I'm starting to mix and match. If we work on models or like front views, like reference sheets, and you want the ruler to be seen on every layer, because when you see, I add a new layer and it's gone. The ruler only activates when I am on the same layer. But if you say, okay, I have this on like the sketch, for example, but I also want it when I do line art, you can just simply right click on the ruler and say show on all layers. It changes its little symbol, and when I go to another layer now, it still stays here, right? As a little tip, as a little ruler tip. And if you don't want it, you can just say, okay, just hide the ruler completely or delete it. If you save stuff, by the way, if you save stuff as material, make sure the ruler is deleted too. It shouldn't be like a mask or seen as like a sketch layer or all that fancy stuff, right? This symbol is okay. But basically only the thing that you want to have as and material you have on this one layer. So we have this heart. You don't need to name it or anything. We go to edit and say register material, picture. You click on it and then it shows you this specific layer. It already cuts it to how big it is automatically. And then you can say, okay, I name it heart. Heart. You can say, okay, I want it to be able to make, like, resize it. You can say, oh, like, orient yourself at like the canvas itself, like the ruler completely, or just like after dragging it in that you can adjust it. So basically, other options may, I haven't tried them yet because I think some of them won't let you edit the material after dragging it in. So I always say, hey, I want to be able to edit it after dragging it in. If you want, it's not necessary. You can say like, hey, it's an effect, it's a person, it's a background, but we don't really need that. It's more like for when you upload it to the Clip Studio asset store. You can also say, hey, I want this for like my brushes and for paper texture. Like you can also like include that. We're gonna say brush stroke for a reason, because you can save signatures or you can make like your own brushes, right? After you set your settings, you just go to materials. Just click on it in a folder. Let's say, hey, it's decoration, right? You put it in, and now when you look at your folder, decoration, it's in here. And you can just drag and drop it in. You can resize it, you can delete it again, and all that fancy schmancy stuff. And if you want it as a brush, I recommend getting one of like the default Clip Studio, like one of the Clip Studio, just like sparkle stuff or just like effect thing. Copy that one. You go to the subtool details. And then you go to brush tip. I think it's what it's called. You get rid of all the brushes here. And you add it in. That's why you need to name it, so it's easier to find. Heart. I have a couple hearts. There it is. Heart. And then you see it's changing the brush tip to the heart. You can change how thick it is, how it's gonna be, like vertical, horizontal, how it's gonna be like portrayed. You can say, oh, I want it to be small or like bigger spread over the canvas, and how close it is to each other. You can completely go ham with those settings. Like, it's absolutely ballers how much you can change here. I haven't looked too much into it. I haven't made my own like effect brushes yet, but I use it just like for either my signatures or like for little hearts and stuff, you know? And after you're done with that, you have it here and you can just use it to your heart's content. Now you have a heart brush. Yippee! I hope it was not too fast. If you have any questions or if you want me to explain something again, feel free to let me know, okay? Because I don't know how fast I am right now. Because I talk faster when I get nervous. Yippee! Megu, did you take notes? Did you take notes? Do you know how to like make your own signature now? You're doing, yeah, thank you, Kitsu. I'm so fucking nervous. It's still like really new to just like explain stuff. Like, there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube that can explain it 100 times better than me. But, you know, just sharing like my insight and my workflow. Oh, okay. Then if you have any questions after watching the VOD, you can also like message me. This is not like a one-time thing. You can always like DM me questions about art or just like functions. If you wanna know how I do things, if it's general questions about Clip Studio that you haven't seen in my stream, then I probably won't know about it, and I would recommend Googling them first. Highly recommend. Because I only have knowledge of what I am presenting here to you. You make for a fantastic teacher. Like, yeah, thank you. I'm blushing. You make me all flustered. Stop it. Was there something else I wanted to explain? Let me think. But no, I think that was everything. I showed the... Oh! Very important! But I'm gonna show that on an example. So we're gonna just grab something real quick. Oh yeah, you can see like all my folders. Go to family. Actually, I wanted to show what I did with Mego's piece. You can see all the layers I used. It's very much to every artist how they use their layer and how they organize stuff and how they do it. But basically, just for showcase, you can see the background is all blurred out. But I don't know if I can like if I can get it back to like its original state. I don't think I can. But I will show in a second. So basically I have my whole background layer. I didn't name this because I was lazy. I don't know what that is. That is just an empty layer. We have us three here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. The background is just messy. Like, behind us, there's just dirt. So you see, you don't always have to go full on detail with the background. You just need to think, what are the people seeing? And what am I seeing? You know? Don't give yourself unnecessary work if it's not gonna be displayed in the first place. I have a little lightning layer. I have a little aesthetic around the drawing, and I have my logo here. So, oh my god, what happened? For those two things I wanted to show, is first we're gonna get rid of this background. And we're gonna get rid of this. Now, for backgrounds. I am very much a person who loves just simple, one-colored backgrounds. Call it a day. Maybe if I'm really freaky, I add like a second square in a different color. Like, wow, this is amazing. You can use the gradient tool, like get a little bit of swoosh in there. Like, ooh, wow, this is... Why the fuck is it? Oh, I'm on the whole gradient. Like, do a little bit of a little frisky little blend. Like, wow, this is so cool. So technology. Basically, what I wanted to show is, first of all, lightning can be very much changed with just one layer. What if I tell you that even like with base colors, you can do the shadows on a complete different layers and then just adjust it with these settings. it's basically for everything regarding lighting and changing either saturation, like the color, the lighting of said layer. So for example, if I make a new layer, we say, okay, only register us 3 here, right? As we said, the mask. We're gonna give it a red. You see only the outline of us 3. But what happens if I say, okay, let's multiply it? Okay. You can already see us, but we're just like red because we're multiplying it. We can adjust the opacity, right? If you want to set a mood, like for example, it's nighttime. Boom. Blue filter, it's nighttime. You can adjust that by just the color you're choosing with, right? Like a darker one or brighter one. Now it's super dark. You can do that a lot for when you just make dramatic lighting or you want to add color highlights after it, right? You see, I didn't even do much, just a few clicks and colors, and it already has a complete different mood. And that's basically what I do after I finish the piece. I don't spend much time adding layers with like different lighting stuff, because I do that after I finish the main piece and not in between. So what else do we have? We have multiply. We have adjust the colors afterwards, which more refers to like lighter colors. So you can see it's like color correcting it, like Nachblichten, like just editing the lighting afterwards. You can say edit like linear lighting, which is just basically taking the whole cover instead of you know, taking care of what color is who wearing and stuff. You can subtract it, which is just like, you can eventually just like, do me a favor, just get your drawing, put a color over it, and then just try out all the functions to just see what they do. This one is just for like making it brighter. Negative, multiply. You can just fool around with it. Like I use a lot of the multiply, just making it darker if I want it just to be like subtle differences, or linear coloring for just like lightning when I do atmosphere of you know, the background and stuff. And I do like soft lightning and add glow. For example, like when I have some gold stuff, like the crown, if I want to reflect it on the crown. You can also do it with just like only the gold layers, right? You have your crown and you just get your crown, multiply it, and then just like added a little glow to it. You have this, you can say hard light, you can say glowing light again. In your hard. Like it doesn't change much because of the color I have right now, but yeah, it's basically just like filters, right? If you look at it. Saturation, now we all look like fucking 70s kids. Basically, right? Just play around with it a little bit. And if I say, for example, okay, I want dark color to come from the bottom and have like a shine from the top. I can say, okay, I have my darker color coming from the bottom. I do it with the gradient tool. It's coming from the bottom. We can say either multiply or linear lighting, then it adjusts to the colors that you have. Get another layer. Get yourself a nice color for the light, like a yellow. And set that one to shine, or, you know, any other kind of light. Oh, Marcy! Thank you for the subby, oh my god! Marcy, we are learning. Ayo! And if you want to do like highlights on the hair, you can also do that, but you can just like add over it. Add over the drawing. You don't have to change anything on the base drawing. You can just like add the stuff directly, right? Bada bing, bada boom. You have lightning without even doing much layers. But yeah, very recommended. It can change a lot on an artwork if you have like, you know, a little bit of a light source going on. And same for background. But that I only did recently. If you have a background and you don't want to draw it, let's say we are on a street. Marcy, I get to you in a second and spank your little ass. Let's say, okay, we have a window here. We are maybe like in a corner of a street or something. We have like our little street here. It's gonna be very roughly drawn, but you can be rough. As long as it's not too much out of proportion, you can just like, you know, go for it. You can use one of the backgrounds from Clip Studio assets, or you just do your own. I always like adding a layer underneath it if I don't want to mess around with the top one, or the one I just drew before. I just draw on top and then merge it. You can have this one. Let's say we have some clouds going on in the background. Maybe it's a little bit more sunny. It doesn't need too much detail, like all the nitpicky stuff you do usually. Say it's going a little bit yellow from the sun. Maybe there's some trees there, who knows? Some trees from the park at the back. They all have like their little tree crowns. Marcy, I love you. Wait, I'll get to you in a second. Alright, you have like a little trees here. Maybe there's like one going down, and there's windows on the fucking building. There's windows, and they have like a little, you know, display here. It's not much you need to add. You can add like little highlights to the trees. Let's say there's like a rose thing. Another window, and there's like a little, you can see a little bit inside. Maybe there's like a person sitting or something. Of course the colors should somehow relate to each other, like not completely like go crazy. And then here's a sign. Maybe it says coffee or anything. Right? And you just fool around a little bit. Maybe here's like one of those rain things. Same with here. And now the only thing you need to do really... let's make the background a little bit more brighter, because I think I made the sunny setting a little bit too dim, a little bit too cloudy. The only thing you need to do now is you have it all on one layer, click filter, Motion blur. Of course, not going too crazy. Adjust it a little bit so it doesn't look too fucking flashy. Then you don't even need to draw much details. You can have it in the back, you can have like the lightning play a little bit more in, but on a separate layer, like this. You have a little bit more sun shining through. It's not much, really. And it surprised me when I saw it for the first time, like someone using this. You don't need to draw all the details. Yeah, I know, that's how I reacted. Like, that's literally someone explaining like, hey, I just drew like the rough lines of the windows and the background and like frames of pictures and stuff, and then use the motion blur. And it works perfectly. What the actual fuck? So if you one like me who hates drawing backgrounds, feel free to use the switchcraft. It's a little gift from God. So yeah. Oh my god, look at your little cheering emote. Oh my god, everyone, there's my mama. Can I have a shout out for my mama? Outside, that's so cringe. What's this wizardry? You're a wizard now, Harry. It's so smart. No! You, Marcy. Wait, where's my pointer? You, Marcy. I can't rotate it. You. How are you so adorable? I missed you, Marcy. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm gonna... But yeah, that's pretty much everything I know and use in Clip Studio. How my work progress is. I wouldn't really say do the layers how I do them, because I usually... my layers are minimum or like maximum 5 layers. You can use more, of course. It's just like me, if it's not a commission, I don't really use much lines anymore. Maybe I have a sample. Do I have a sample that is TOS friendly? Yeah, like the... Yeah, it's straight to Happy Tears. Okay, there's a little bit more because I was lazy merging everything. There's circles. This is empty. Background, lightning, logo, font, the Etty. But you see, Letty literally only exists from just line art and a color layer. I feel like my Letty's, my Letty's. I feel like my layers will make Letty cry. I've seen people use 600 layers, and that legitimately made me speechless. But as long as you don't use over 100 layers, I feel like you're good, baby girl. Like, it changes. I didn't always do layers like that. I used to be like very organized, make layers for outlines, and then in the outline folder there's like more folders, outlines for the eyes, the head, and everything just separated. And now I'm just like, I throw it all on one layer. I don't edit it anyway. Hell yeah. Maximum 5 layers. Yeah. I see Megu bet yours. Can I use 70 layers? That's okay. I use so many layers, so tasty. Wait, you're on 350 on my model? I mean, I don't remember how much layers I had on my model. We can check. Is this updated, Letty? I think this is updated, Letty. Okay, that's a little bit more organized because I know I had to. Hair back. Oh god, the pain of my existence. Oh yeah, we have a clown boob. Boop. Little mouse snack. Teehee. A single pixel definitely needs its own layer. No! It will literally, like, me making, like, merging more of the singular stuff together. Like, it helped me so much. Just, like, organization-wise as well, right? Because I got so lost in the layers I use. Like, holy crap. Oh! That reminds me, if you're searching for something, for example, where's something where I have layers? Do I have layers? Oh, we can use the emote one. If I'm like, okay, I wanna edit the line art on this one, but I don't know on which layer I have it. You can press Control and click on it. It will automatically jump to the layer the line is on. Also, hi Vespi. Oh my god, I think I didn't reply to your message at the beginning. Ah, I missed you. I'm so sorry. I got so excited, like, okay, teaching. Must remember. I can't wait to save up and have one. I can't wait to have the other daughter too. My little daughter. Model has quite a bit. Yeah, it was like a lot. That was like literally hell for me. Just like making everything a singular layer. It's just like so against everything I've done before. So good. I've been looking and learning. Ah, how you doing now? How you doing? Lady Chima literally on my VTuber bucket list. I am looking very forward to it. Oh, and the gremlin. Have I showed? I don't think I have showed all of you guys the gremlin. But we have a gremlin. Yippee! Wahoo! What did I want to show? Ah, yeah. I wanted to show on how I color shit. I can't really show commissions because I have some in there that I cannot show. I haven't drawn much yet. Wait, have I not saved a CSP for that? I didn't. But I have on Kiwi Thief. Little shadow. There's the sketch. Wow. On a note on how yeah, you can see I have like some highlights on a mask layer because I just drew on top of it because I didn't want to disturb the shading I did underneath. So I just added a new layer, right? Because if I add a new layer, let's say I drew over here, right? So since here's gradient, that's a perfect example. I'm like, oh, I wanna draw like the heart earring, but oh, oopsie whoopsie, I drew over it. I can just delete it, but the drawing underneath won't be touched and you don't need to redraw anything or reshade anything. That's just like mwah. And usually I have a base layer where everything is just one color and then I start like shading in the skin color, right? Like I just start like, oh, this is my blushie and stuff. And then I move like the hair layer to a different one. And stuff. Basically, right? To how I shade. Little baby! But yeah, that's pretty much it for Clip Studio. And all its glory and beautiful functions that I use that make Let the Art possible. But yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to ask anytime. I hope it was at least some kind of help on how some